stream on studying law at De Montfort University. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you are watching, please leave us a comment, say hi. We'd really love to hear from you. This live stream is all about getting you the questions, sort of the answers to the questions that you need. So to introduce myself, my name's Georgia and I work in the Faculty of Business and Law, and I'll be your host today. So I'm here to help you make sure that you get all of your questions answered. So please let us know that you're watching. I'm joined by a couple of academic colleagues today. So we have Associate Professor Alwyn Jones and Associate Professor David Hodgkinson. Let's start with our introductions. So first, let's introduce Alwyn. Hi, Alwyn.
Hello. It's good to be here. I'll be one of your lecturers for constitutional law, one of your first year subjects if you come to study law at De Montfort.
And we also have David. It's very weird to call him David. Everyone knows him as Hodgie. So let's bring him in. Hi.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, indeed, call me Hodgie. My name's David Hodgkinson. And you'll see me in the first year for criminal law, and then in the second year for interprofessional legal skills for those budding solicitors, barristers, and lawyers amongst you.
Perfect. And obviously, it wouldn't be right if we didn't have a student here to answer any questions that you have at being a student at De Montfort University. So I'd like to introduce Dominica. Hi, Dominica.
Hi, my name is Dominica and I'm studying business law. So hi, everyone.
Perfect. So just to, so like I say, we're going to be here now for the next half an hour. So if you do have any questions, get them popped in the comments and we will answer them as soon as possible. So firstly, congratulations for staying positive about your future and choosing university. We're living in an extraordinary year that has affected all lives and plans, and we completely understand what a significant year this is, because it is for us too. We're all living in it together. If you're planning to start or continue your higher education journey in 2020, we want you to know that DMU is here every step of the way. And this is why we're doing live streams like this, to make sure that you constantly feel like you're in the know and you understand what's happening. So your DMU Future is our way of connecting safe campus living, quality teaching, one-to-one time with our academics, and a great student experience, all within our diverse, inclusive and welcoming DMU community. We're committed to ensuring you get extra help you may need with your life, work and study. So to start off with, what I'll do is I will say goodbye to Dominica for a second. She will be coming back a little bit later to talk about her student experience. But I wanted to just spend some time talking to both Hodgie and Alwyn about the teaching and what students can expect in the next sort of term. So Hodgie, if we can start with you, and then we'll pass it on to Alwyn, if that's okay.
Certainly, thanks. Well, clearly it's a strange time for us all, but I think a positive time. I mean, I'm very excited about the next term, in all honesty, just from a purely functional point of view. Going online, you know, you're going to have live sessions with your lecturers in the different modules, and also there are going to be pre-recorded sessions with regards to the large lectures, the more of the substantive content. And so you'll be able to follow these at your leisure. But let me be clear about that. Saying at your leisure doesn't mean you're on your own at all. In fact, you know, I think maybe the older ones amongst us, Alwyn will have to speak for himself in a moment, you know, we find this really exciting. It is a real connection. And the fact is that we are going to be able to facilitate your learning and support you. Our heart is in it. I think that's the important thing for me to say. One other quick thing is, do you know what? Those of you who are starting law now, you're at the cutting edge, actually. Modern technology. I mean, the technology itself is going to assist you. We have telephone hearings in life at the minute. There are many aspects with regards to chambers hearings and different advocacy, which is done online. So, in fact, I can say that in my second year module, I'm actually incorporating this methodology in the sense of it's going to show you the skills which you'll need when you graduate in 3 years' time. So personally, don't be despondent or negative about anything. This is, you know, the whole situation DMU's turn to it, and we as the law school are going to assist you. And it's good stuff. So I don't know what Alwyn would say about that, but there's my opening gambit, everyone.
Shall I follow on from that?
Yeah, it sounds perfect, Alwyn. Yeah, if you want to jump in.
Teaching will be inevitably different than it would have been in normal times, of course. So as Hodgie said, some of it will be in online sessions, some of it will be in person. And we've been thinking over the summer about what that means. So we've been thinking about the ways in which, obviously, we don't simply want to record what we would ordinarily do, or necessarily do online exactly the same session we would have done if you'd been in the classroom. So we've been thinking about ways to make, for example, lectures run in smaller, more manageable pieces with perhaps activities to check your understanding and that kind of thing as you go along. And there are some things that we can do in the classes when we run them online that will mirror what you would have had in person. So, for example, we can get people working in small groups in an online session just as we can when you're in the classroom. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the combination of those will work. And a lot of the skills that you'll be learning will involve online legal resources, access to case law and that kind of thing. So that's a really important area to develop confidence in, your legal research skills, which you'll be doing online and talking about both in person and on the computer as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much to the both of you for giving us an introduction. So just from your point of view, obviously you have touched on it briefly, but it's going to be slightly different for students this year. There is no sort of ways that we can say that. But in terms of everything that you sort of the Leicester de Montfort Law School have put in place, how confident do you feel as academics that students will still get great student experience and learning opportunities? Hodgie, if I throw that over to you.
Sure, thanks. Definitely. I mean, the student experience is going to be there. I mean, I've been looking at this very closely. And the fact, because with my second year module, for example, it's a practical module, there are still going to be workspaces. Clearly, we're going to have social distancing, whether that's the new norm or things will change by the December vacation, who knows. But the fact is, I'm confident that De Montfort, and certainly the law school as well, we've looked at everything and the best way in which we can enable students to have that experience, to have the not just the connection with the law colleagues in the school, but also with other students. And this is important, of course, to your, not just to your learning, but to your social experiences which you're going to have. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, as Alwyn said, some of it will be online. We're using a system called Collaborate and Blackboard. I mean, it's bang, it's a great system. You can be put into little tutorials, you have larger lecture sessions, but you don't want it all online. So certain modules and certain aspects of the course will be delivered actually in the Hugh Aston building. And it's actually like a transition. It's actually pushed online to the fore, because in all honesty, we've been using online, and lawyers use online for years now. For example, our databases, we use Westlaw and Lexis Library. These are all online services and databases, and we're going to have a wonderful, and I have to say that, as a matter of fact, Alwyn and I are probably beaming about this, as all the other law colleagues are. We're going to have what's called Law Trove. So, and Law Trove has been going for a number of years, but it's going to give you all your books from Oxford University Press all online, with different activities, like multiple choice activities and different scenarios. And you know what? I know we're kind of doing short, snappy stuff here, and I need to pass this baton on to Alwyn very soon. But at De Montfort Law School, you can write things, you can do your seminars, email them to your lecturers, they'll give you feedback. I mean, it's what we do. We love doing doing it. But there's also going to be times when you can meet with them. There's definitely face-to-face things, but we're the mask on, but everything is going to be okay.
Thanks for that, Hodgie. I think it's amazing because one of the great things about Hugh Aston building is we have the law library. So it's great that students will still have access to all of those different resources. Just before we speak to Dominica, obviously, Alwyn, I know you're heavily involved with street law, and this may be putting you on the spot. Is that something that will still be available to students going forward?
Yes, definitely. For people who don't know, street law is about the very simple idea that a great way to learn something is to teach it to other people. So maybe there was a subject in school or college where you were more confident with a friend and you helped them out. And when people had that experience, they often say, well, it was when I talked it through for them that I really got it in a way I didn't understand before. So in street law, we work in teams and we do presentations on practical legal issues for people in schools, colleges, and community groups. So we spend time in the law school thinking about what we'd like people to know, what people are interested in learning about. It could be anything. It could be social media in the law, so how people can get into trouble through what they post on, well, you know, all about social media, no doubt. Or it could be about a contemporary issue. If you watch the news, I'm sure you'll see all sorts of legal issues coming up all the time. So we worked it, and of course we can do that either through social distancing, as Hodgie was saying, in one of the larger rooms, or we can also do it online. So yes, street law will very much still be operating, and that's about giving you confidence in talking to other people about the law, and it's about teamwork and about communication skills as well. And hopefully it's fun. You know, people often feel that you can, you know, get to know people better through street law as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alwyn. And yeah, I think it's really crucial, like we said, that the resources are still going to be there to students, whether that is online or in the building, just with a little bit of a different feel. And street law, we have nothing but amazing feedback about, like Alwyn said, how it improves confidence. So we just want to sort of make you feel comfortable that all of these platforms and services that were available to previous students will be available to sort of the next generation of DMU students. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say goodbye to Alwyn, love doing that, and goodbye to Hodgie. So we'll just leave them for a second. And now what I want to do is bring back Dominica. So Dominica is one of our current law students. Now, Dominica, back in March, we all had to quickly adapt to online teaching and learning. So can you just give us a bit of like an insight to your experiences of online learning?
Yes, exactly. So hi again, and it was really great. I haven't got any difficulties, to be honest. I prefer face-to-face learning, but in this situation, it is so much better to introduce online learning, of course. So I understand it. And however, it was really similar to normal learning because of the social media. It was really easy to feel like being on normal lectures. So I think that it was great, and the organization was perfect.
How did you get the support that you needed with your studies? So there may have been a time, and obviously it was very different this time. How did you get support?
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, lecturers were real nice and helpful. If I needed help, I just asked my lecturers and they helped me a lot. I have repeated all material again during the summer holiday as well. And I asked a lot of questions. Even Hodgie probably remember me when I was asking about some issues. So yeah, they were very, very, very helpful. And yeah, I think that it was okay. And the organization was very good. To be honest, I haven't got any problems, like really, really big problems, and everything was so easy. So I think it was okay, and I haven't got any difficulties. So yeah, I recommend it.
Amazing. And if you needed to if you needed to get hold of them, how was it that you would contact them?
I think that mostly I just used the Outlook, so via student emails, because it was the easiest way, I think, and I recommend it as well.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So in terms of since March, how has teaching and sort of assessment changed and adapted for you?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, lecturers were recorded, so I just can just see them again or something like that. So it was quite easy, but in normal way it's the same. So like no difference. However, we haven't got the mock. We haven't got that. We didn't have exams like the second term's exams. But we have got online assignments, like, for example, advocacy task. But it was like in our home, and everything was online. We have just written something, something which was like the situation. We had got the situation, and we have to like argue about it a little and give some, for example, solution, etc. So it was like that, and everything was online. So I just sent it, and everything was okay. So yeah, sorry, I'm just a little stressed. I don't know.
No, take a moment. It's fine. It is great to hear sort of your side of the story and like how it has been for you, because it's been very different. In terms of how you have adapted from working from home, how have you managed to balance your work life and your home life?
Oh, I think that I have done everything as in the past. So I think that I haven't got many changes in my life, because, for example, I just can contact with my friends via social media, for example, on Facebook, WhatsApp, etc., and via emails, also just calling them or something like that. So I think that it was very easy to adapt to the new situation, but I'm also this type of person who just, if any situation like change, I like changes, and then I adapt to it. So I think that it depends on the personality. However, I think it wasn't really bad or something like that. It wasn't really like I wasn't in trouble. So yeah, I felt good.
Perfect. Thank you. Eden, thank you very much for your question. We will be answering it within like the next 5 minutes. We're going to bring it back our academics, Alwyn and Hodgie, because they just like to speak about it. So thank you for your question. Thank you for watching. We will be answering it shortly.
Thank you as
well. So the last question that I have for you, Dominika, and I think it's quite an important one. Obviously, we all know that going to university is a massive choice, and we know that building those relationships with students that become your friends are very important. How have you managed to still collaborate and speak to students? Do you have group chats? Do you FaceTime? How do you communicate?
FaceTime on Facebook and also WhatsApp, because WhatsApp and Facebook probably, and I think that maybe sometimes just message them, but mostly of the time it was like calling them and just talking with them.
Amazing. And would you have any final advice for students that are starting in October with us?
I think that's just don't worry, we will go through it, and everyone is in the same situation, and it is different situation, but different doesn't mean bad. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dominika, for sharing your experience. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Let me bring back Alwyn and Hodgie. Hi, both. Oh, Alwyn's screen has slight. Oh, there we go. Is there? Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulty there. So, Hodgie, can I start with you? As I say, we just told Eden that we would answer her question first. So, Eden's question is: wouldn't even having a choice to go to your lecturers wearing a mask and having to sit 1 meter apart be an option? Because many people find it hard to learn subjects sitting on a computer in their rooms. Completely valid question, Eden. And I'm going to throw it over to Hodgie to start off with, and then Alwyn, if you'd like to join in.
Sure. Thanks for your question, Eden. Well, first of all, like all places, we're going to have to abide by social distancing rules. But what I like to do is just look at a different context of what you're saying. It's not just that you're going to try to learn it while sitting at your computer, listening to the lecturer. In all honesty, if you were in a lecture, you'd sit there and listen and make notes. So perhaps you can get yourself into a mindset that you are actually present, listening to the lecturer. And what you'll find is the lecturer will pose questions. So, there may be questions which come to you as you're listening, what's going to happen is, for example, myself, what I will do is I will try to think about what students are actually thinking at the time, and I'll answer those questions. But then, of course, you're going to have another opportunity. So, you'll be able to contact your lecturers and etc. But also, you can have seminar sessions. You can have live sessions with the different lecturers. So you'll be able to ask questions there. And that's where really your learning will generate. I mean, you can get the basics from lectures and take notes, but you talk about learning, that's not actually where you'll learn it. You'll learn it in your own preparation and reading, ready for your live seminar sessions. And let's not forget, some of those will be face-to-face. So it's not like you're going to be like just cast out to the other side of the galaxy. Not at all. Everyone's going to be connected. We're going to have this beehive community that we're all in this together, this learning experience. So my personal feeling is, don't see anything negative from that. We're aware of those problems, but we're going to engage with you, and particularly you, Eden, for raising that question. Thanks very much.
That's perfect. Alwyn, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
Yes, just to say that I agree. If all people were doing was to watch a lecture and make notes, and if that was it, then it would be difficult to learn. And that's why it's going to be so important to use the one-to-one support that's available, to talk to your tutor, to engage with your seminar. Because if I've simply heard somebody talk about something, I probably haven't really learned it yet. It's when I've engaged with it, when I thought it through in my own terms, and when I've perhaps debated it or used it to answer questions, then I understand it much better. So for me, that's where the best learning happens, and we will be available to answer questions one-to-one, as well as in group discussions in the seminars.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alwyn. And Eden, no need to thank us. That's exactly why we've got these live streams on, to just answer any questions. So we have another question from Hettel. So thank you for watching, Hettel. And Hettel wants to know, how often in a week would we be having face-to-face contact? Sorry, Hodgie, do you want to go first?
Okay, thanks. Hettel, we can't put a definitive figure on that at the moment, because what we're doing is we're working around our timetable and working around the teaching spaces that we have. But I think I can confidently say you're definitely going to have sessions in the major modules. So you'll be coming in, you'll be meeting with your tutors. But like I say, I don't know a number. But if I can answer that in a different way, if I may, some students have contacted me asking me about what they should do. This is second and third year students, what they should do with regards to my module. Should they be thinking about coming in? The answer is definitely yes. The university has provided this platform for us. There are going to be a number of modules where you will have these face-to-face sessions. So I can't say how often, but I can say there definitely will be. And perhaps Alwyn would like to add to that.
Yes, simply to add that you will have seminars each week. Some of those will be online, some of those will be face-to-face, and to some extent that depends on government guidance at the time and what we can achieve. And you'll also be meeting your personal tutor, who's there to support your studies and help you to make the most of your learning, and that will be a one-to-one meeting every 2 weeks. That's a really important opportunity to get support.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hopefully that answers your question, Hettel. So Alwyn, I'm going to fire this next question from you, and this is from Jenny. So thank you very much for watching, Jenny. And guys, we've got about 5 minutes left. If we go over a little bit, it's fine. So please keep your questions coming in if you want to ask anything. So Jenny wants to know, do we need to buy any textbooks, as some people are saying they are buying them?
And obviously you don't want to miss out if other people are getting them. Absolutely. What the law store will offer, I think Hodgie mentioned earlier, something called Law Trove. I went on this just to try it a few days ago. Ordinarily, I'd go into the law library and take a book off the shelf just like you would in normal times, but I tried Law Trove. It's really simple. So when you've got your DMU login and password, you can just go onto the library website and access the books that you would normally use. So that means, in fact, it's not necessary to buy textbooks if you're comfortable with reading them on the screen, because through Law Trove you'll be able to access the books that you would use for your seminar reading, supporting your lectures, and a whole range of other books. It's not just your textbooks on Law Trove, it's a sort of law library on your computer, in effect. So that's a really good feature. And you may well be wondering, well, what books should I get? Lecturers will be reviewing the books over the summer because new books are coming out all the time. So if you are interested in buying books, of course you might prefer to buy books to have a hard copy anyway. When you have your induction, that's the week before term starts, we'll be giving you more information for those who do want to buy books, but it's not required because you will be able to access the books that you'll need for seminars on Law Trove online.
There we go. I hope that answers your question, Jenny. And it looks like we might have saved you a little. Oh, Hodgie wants to add in as well.
I'd just like to say, I agree entirely with Alwyn, but I've got an idea actually, Jenny. But buy a book such as How to Study Law, for example, or another good one is Letters to a Law Student. Letters to a Law Student. Keep that by your bedside, dip in and out, read that for interest. That's going to give you lots of good study tips and techniques as you're building up, ready to engage with the lecturers, and then follow along the lines of what Alwyn has just suggested. But so get a pre-study book now, perhaps.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Hopefully that answers your question, Jenny. Now, we had a couple of questions before when people booked on, so we will hopefully they're watching and hopefully we can answer those questions for them now. So I'll ask Alwyn to answer this one first, if that's okay. So one of the key attractions of the course I've applied for, and that's the Law Graduate Diploma, is the opportunity to undertake pro bono work. How is this going to be offered in the current environment? I know we touched on sort of street law earlier, but can you add to that as well, Alwyn?
Yes. So people may be wondering what we mean by pro bono work if you don't already know. Pro bono normally refers to legal work that's done either for free or for a reduced fee. And that typically might involve something like legal advice for somebody who wouldn't be able to afford it ordinarily. The law school offers a legal advice clinic, and that's a really important opportunity for people to, with support from a supervisor or a member of staff, to meet a client and to advise them for the first time. What will that mean in the current environment? Well, we don't know yet. There are obvious options. We could either be meeting with social distancing if we can ensure that will be safe for everybody, or we could be meeting online. And as you might imagine, universities, like other organisations, have got quite used to meeting and working online since the lockdown started. So it would be perfectly possible to do it in either of those ways. We might even offer a mix. It depends on what's most accessible for people. But there's no reason to believe that we can't continue to offer pro bono work despite the challenges of the situation that we're in.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alwyn. So the next question, just wait for the banner to come up, and we'll send this one to Hodgie. Oh, this might be more for Alwyn, but Hodgie can answer, and then we'll go to Alwyn if he has anything to add. Will we still have mock court meetings?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we are going to have some face-to-face, so there will be some mock court sessions set up. Clearly, the Law Society, Student Law Society, will generate such meetings, as well as there'll be street law meetings. As you know, I mean, first years don't know this, or the new first years, we have the wonderful assize courts, very big Crown Court and the Commercial Court. So, like I say, we'll have to follow the social distancing, but I'm sure there will be opportunities for you to get on your feet.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So the next question we've got is from Shams. And Shams has actually read Letters to a Law Student. He bought it and he thought it was great, so he would recommend that to a new student. So Jenny, there you go. You've got 2 positive recommendations there. Get out and go buy that book. Do a bit of pre-reading before you hopefully join us in October. So Shams would like to know when we are going to receive the reading list. Oh, sorry, I forgot who was directing this at too. Alwyn, if you can jump in.
Yes, you'll get that when you arrive and when you can access the virtual learning environment. I don't know if you might well be used to using similar systems in high school or college. So each module has its own website on a module on a virtual learning environment, and you'll be able to find information on what you'll be reading there. And you'll be reading a range of materials, which may be quite unfamiliar to you. So, for example, in addition to textbooks, you'll be accessing primary legal materials, particularly cases, and also academic commentary from law journal articles. So there's a sort of rich variety of materials that you'll be able to access online. But yes, the simple answer is when the course starts on the module Blackboard site.
Perfect. Hodgie, do you have anything to add there?
I'd agree entirely with what Alwyn says, and the thing is, reading changes. I mean, there may be some new cases come along, etc. So, but I mean, if you're a second or a third year, you know how this works. You're in the swing of it, so you can look at different text, etc. I suggest read a little bit more widely. Don't look at the narrow sides. Think about contextual reading. But if you're a first year or one of the new applicants coming to us, don't worry. All this we'll start from the beginning like a blank canvas. We're all going to paint our picture together. So don't worry, you're in safe hands.
Love that. That was perfect. And Ben, hopefully that answers your question as well, because I know you just asked a similar question to Shams. So got another question from Hetal. And I know we've gone over the 30 minutes already, but guys, keep your questions coming in. We'll stay here I'm going to say as long as we need to answer these questions. I don't know how everyone feels about that, but I've already said it. It's done. It's been said. So Hetal and Hodgie, if you wouldn't mind answering this, says, on results day, do we need to call DMU to let them know of our results?
Yeah, thanks, Hetal. This relates, of course, to your A-level results coming out and with regards to accepting your place at De Montfort. No, you don't call us, we'll call you, as it were. That's how it works here. I mean, you will have applied through the UCAS system. You will have had your offer made. If you get the results for which that offer gave you the place, then it's all automatic. I don't think things have changed. I doubt you have to contact us. It will be the other way around. You'll receive confirmation and contact from the De Montfort admissions team.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Hodgie. And no worries, Shams. Hopefully we answered all your questions and we really hope it was helpful. We've now got a question from Ben. So Alwyn, I'll pass this over to you. What will the balance between online and face-to-face learning be?
It's difficult to give a number because that's still being worked out. So as you might imagine, with social distancing, a class that would ordinarily be in a seminar room will probably need to be in a much larger room so we can all stay further apart from each other, at least initially. And so we will have regular face-to-face teaching, but I can't tell you yet exactly a number of how.
It's always bound to happen on a live stream that something goes a little bit wrong, a phone rings, a dog barks. Hodgie, have you got anything to add to that as well?
Yeah, I tell you what, Ben, you're going to make a good lawyer, you are, because what you've done is you've taken what we've been talking about and you've had another stab at it to get the answer. What's the balance between online and face-to-face learning? So that's wonderful. I can't wait to meet you and have a chat, Ben, about all things law. As Alwyn says, we're not quite sure, but let's say this, there's going to be face-to-face, you'll be in, and online, and we're all going to walk along this path and sort it out together.
Perfect. And we've had a comment from Shams saying that she's so excited to start. Shams, we are exactly the same. We can't wait to be back on campus and we can't wait to see everyone. I think we have answered most of the questions that we needed to sort of go through. Obviously, I'll keep an eye on the comments. So if you've got any final questions, just let us know. But finally, one more question to both Alwyn and Hodgie. So I'll start with Alwyn. Any advice you'd like to give to our students joining us this year?
Firstly, simply to have a good rest, to relax over the summer. University can be a very full-on experience. So have a good rest, enjoy yourselves, and come ready to learn. And it's okay to make mistakes. We expect that people won't get everything right the first time. That's okay. We'd encourage you to ask questions when you don't know. Do talk to us, have a one-to-one meeting, send an email. You're always welcome to get in touch when you're not sure, because we know university is a whole new experience. It's unfamiliar, and we're here to support you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And Hodgie, any advice from you?
Thanks, Georgia. I'm really pleased to be put on the spot with this. Two things. Two things. First of all, don't worry about friends and things like that, because we're talking to new students here. You're going to make lots of friends. This is part of the face-to-face. The university's still got lots of things and lots of events, and there'll be lots of the society impact with you, the Law Society and Street Law. We've got a mooting society. You're going to be you'll engage. You'll make friends. So let's not worry about all of that. The second thing I think I'd like you to do, or perhaps just to think about between now and starting, is begin to look at things in context. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, quite simply this. When you're listening to the news, or you've heard about an event, or you've seen something on Coronation Street or EastEnders, which might have some kind of legal implication, just think about context. In other words, does it have a political meaning? Does it have a legal meaning? Is it something which affects the environment? Are there any social aspects to it? So start to tweak your mind and think about things in context. That's what I'd like to say. And thanks very much for coming.
Well, I think that wraps up everything that we needed to talk about today. So thank you everyone for your comments and for joining us. We really do appreciate it, and we hope that we answered the questions that you needed to get answered. You can find out more about your DMU Future on our website, and also we would love you to join us for our exciting community event coming up on Friday the 24th of July, and that's for all of our offer holders that have currently got an offer with us at DMU, our big night in. So please go to our website, find out more, and book your place. Have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you again for watching, and we hope to see you at DMU soon. Thank you. Bye.